Welcome back to Let's Chat About, a show where pretty much anything goes. Today, I've got Morgan Moss, the creator and head witch of Ink Goddess Creations, as my guest. Morgan and I have known each other for quite some time. I'm on Team IGC as well, and she is a magical, magical woman who really helps others find their own magical path in the world. She does this through inkgoddesscreations.com, her website, and through her Inked Spirit Coven membership as well, and her podcast, Busy, Gritty, Inked, and Witchy. See, I'm just going to plug everything for you, Morgan, where she talks about anything magical or spiritual that happens to come up. It's all very current and really meaningful. So like if we've got a Sabbath coming up, you'll hear about that sort of thing. Or if there's a trend going around on Witch Talk that irritates her, you'll hear that too, which is really cool. And today we're talking about witchcraft, tattoos, and anything under the sun. So welcome, Morgan.
Thank you. And thank you for plugging everything, because I am not great at self-plugging. So.
I understand. Well, so I have to tell everybody that your form was just hilarious. So I always ask folks, I'm like, send me your bio so that I can introduce you. And it was like, if you don't know me this well enough yet, we might need to have a conversation or something to that effect. So I'm like, well, if I'm just going to like spur of the moment introduce you, I'm going to plug all your stuff. It's just
yeah. No, we've been, I don't know, it's years. Like we were pre-pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's how everything is now. That's a timeline for everyone in society is like, was this pre-pandemic or or during the pandemic or post-pandemic?
Right.
So yeah, anything pre-pandemic it's there.
It's forever. Yeah. It has always existed and will always exist.
Yes. Yeah.
What I didn't touch on is your background in witchcraft. And I think that might be kind of a fun place to start if you don't mind diving in and telling us a bit about that.
Yeah, I consider myself an eclectic witch. It used to be an eclectic kitchen witch, but I don't cook a lot now. So
busy.
Yeah, I've been practicing for about more than 20 years now. And my actual spiritual path is that of the Avalonian tradition. So I am big into the ancient Isle of Avalon and goddess worship. And yeah, so what I do now, or what my witchcraft has kind of evolved into over the years, is what I like to call like a busy witch magic. It's just shortcuts or hacks, but they're things that have just worked for me. So, like I started out doing the long form of everything, calling circles, or casting circles, calling the elements, calling in deities, lighting this, lighting that, to where a spell would take an hour. And then the next time I would do the spell, like, okay, I only have 45 minutes. And then the next time, like, okay, I only have 30 minutes today. And the spell kept working, or the ritual, I felt really good afterwards. So I just kind of adopted all of the things, and it's just from 20 years of practicing it as to what's stuck. And of course, not everything sticks, but you try it. If it works, great. If not, throw it out, start over again. So that's what my witchcraft practice has become after 20 years.
I love that. I love that. And what I love is you have given permission to so many people to practice magic in the way that makes sense for them. I actually, looking at my extremely pale face today, I remembered that I actually had a dream that you and I were in last night. And it was, and I totally forgot about this. I would have mentioned it earlier, but it was just like, oh, that's right. So there was this group of people, and we were like doing like, I don't know, a YouTube video or something. And we had a choice of either like getting all in our witchy garb or something else. And I can't remember what the other one was. And I kept like dropping it in the dream and forgetting about it. But the witchy garb was all like very goth, like the heavy eye makeup, like 90s goth, right? And they were like, oh, well, you don't look like you could wear that. And I'm like, okay, first of all, my skin is pale enough. Yes, I could. And then I stood up and I was like, how about instead, let's do what Morgan said. And I don't know when you said this, but let's do what Morgan said and just be ourselves. And like, why don't we just show up and be witchy and like in what we would wear before we do a ritual and just show how different we can all be? And these people were like, no, that's not going to work. And I was like, oh. So then I woke up. So I don't know what happened, but I like to think that you and I like linked arms with all the other witches and just left and got the hell out. But yeah, I totally had that dream last night. Isn't that funny?
That is awesome. I love that, actually.
I know. I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I don't know when you said it, but apparently it happened in the dream before I got there. So
no, that's definitely an undertone of mine is, I think let's see, back in 2005, 2006 to about 2009, I owned a brick and mortar store. And that's been like my philosophy since back then is I've always told people like, you are the magic, you know? So what works for you is not going to work for the next person. And you have to do what feels right to you. And that's been something that I've been telling people for, I don't know, 18 years now. So yeah.
It's so good. I love it. Yay. Well, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about tattoos. So I am curious, like where you wanted to chat and all that. And I'm getting my first one a week from Friday. So coming.
What are you getting now?
I'm getting, my kiddo and I are going to get like a sun and moon tat. And we've seen these where it's like the sun, but then like the moon is within it. And so I sent some ideas over to the artist and I said, I love your style, love your work, just like do your thing. And we kind of want the two of them to be a little different, but that's happening a week from Friday. So
that is so, and do you know where you're going to get it yet?
I think it's going to be on my upper arm somewhere on my right arm. So I'm open to suggestions as to like, where's the less painful part versus the more painful part.
I personally love a fleshy spot.
Yeah.
I feel like fleshy spots are less painful. That's just me personally. Like I have one on the top of my foot that was excruciating.
That's what I've heard
the entire time.
Yeah.
This one right here. So it says Decorus Calamitas, which is Latin for beautiful disaster.
Wow. Cool.
But when he was tattooing this side, the pain shot across my collarbone.
Oh gosh.
Into this shoulder and vibrated like this whole part of my body. And then when he did this word, it shot that way.
Oh, wow.
So the body is very weird.
Yeah.
But the only tattoo, like I have my ribs tattooed. That was dumb as well. The only tattoo I have ever tapped out on.
Yeah.
Is actually this guy, which is my little chakra healer, like the inside of the arm right there. I couldn't handle it. So it looks done. I know that there was a lot more, I don't know, like cleaning up to it that the artist wanted to do. And I was like, no, dude, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So that's the only place that I tell people I'm like, the rib cage sucks. The top of the foot sucks. The back of my neck, just from the standpoint that you have to sit there like this.
Yeah.
For an hour, you just get kind of dizzy and nauseous and but I prefer fleshy tattoos to bony places to tattoo.
Yeah. I'm like looking at, I'm like, so this is fleshy, obviously. A little fleshy upper arm, it's fine. And I'm like, oh, the skin's a little thin there. Maybe we'll do on the outside. So what did you like doing when you were a tattoo artist? Were there places that you were just like, oh God, please don't get a tattoo there?
Oh, I had to tattoo toes one time.
Oh my gosh.
That was horrible. I don't like feet. I'm a thing. I don't know. To me, this is going to sound weird and people are going to be like, wow, she's a weirdo. Feet are weird. Yeah. Like they hold up, they're only this big, but they hold up the entire structure of your entire body. And so I'm like, that's just not normal, but they're also just weird looking. I'm just not
Yeah.
a feet person.
I understand.
Yeah. So I had to tattoo Lucky Charms. Yes, the marshmallows
Oh my gosh.
on someone's toes
Oh my
one
gosh.
day. I tried to get out of it, but the guys at the tattoo shop were buttheads and
Mm,
made me do it anyway. So I charged her actually $100 more than I normally would have charged.
nice.
And she was fine to pay that. And I was like, well,
Okay.
that's your foot fee. So
You have a foot fee. I love that.
I can do the top of the foot. Like, that's all right.
Yeah.
But there was something about tattooing someone's toes that I don't know. It goes into, it's a very personal thing as well, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just kind of,
Like that.
So yeah, I mean, and I've, for as far as like styles of tattooing, the reason I don't tattoo anymore,
Mhm.
is because I just kind of lost the joy for it. I was professionally tattooing in South Carolina and Virginia.
Mhm.
And there's only so many praying hands and crosses
Yeah.
that you can do before your soul starts to die a little bit.
I bet.
Um, um, so I got custom work. Of course, those have always been my favorite. One of my favorite tattoos is actually one that I started on my husband years ago, and we work on it every year on his birthday.
I love that.
And I always tell him, no, I'm going to work on it. Like, we're going to just let this heal. We'll come back in 2 months. I'll do another session. I never do. It is every year on his birthday. And I feel so bad. But my outline is shit. And I can absolutely admit that.
Yeah.
If anyone happens to watch this and it's like, hey, she tattooed me like 10 years ago, like, sorry about that outline.
Nice.
So therefore I love color work. That's what my husband's sleeve is, the solar system.
Yeah.
So it starts with the sun down here, and then we've got all the little planets, and I think he's got it's either Jupiter or Saturn. One is right here and one's right here.
Mhm.
And then it goes up to a black hole.
Oh, cool.
But I mean, I started that probably 10 years ago, and and it's still not done. We've slowly been working on it.
That's so funny. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So more this year.
Yeah, his birthday is coming up in May, so I'll be doing the next session on that, which he left his ditch.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like we went around the ditch.
Oh, yeah.
So this was naked, and then he left all of this naked.
Okay.
So I'm like, look, I did do it in a way. I kind of contoured the edge of space.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you don't ever want to have this tattooed, because it's here and his elbow, and then the inside of, like, if you don't ever want to have that tattooed, your tattoo looks complete because of the way I contoured the edges.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we can just go in and refresh the whole thing, brighten the colors up, make it, there's also, because he's my husband, I experiment on him.
Nice.
With different techniques. Some of them beautiful. Some of them
not so much.
Not so much. So I'm like, we have some places we need to fix,
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's going to decide, because the thought of him doing this, his elbow, and like the inside of his arm, he's like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, we don't have to. So I don't know what it's going to be in May, what we're going to be doing.
I can't wait. You always post it like in your Instagram stories and stuff. So it's going to be awesome. I'm like, I can't wait to see what happens.
Yep.
It looks really cool. Like, I've not seen it in person, but on video, it looks really cool. Well, I found it's so funny because I made the commitment to my kiddo. I was like, okay, so we'll get our first ones together. Like, you turn 18, we'll go do them together. So that's what we're doing. And that's why they're kind of like matching and all that. But before that, I came across an artist who she created a really cool kind of stylized High Priestess tarot card image. And so I actually booked her first but that appointment's not until May. Because I was like, okay, I've got plenty of room to go with kiddo, but this is also happening. And my kid goes, wow, you just like really started, didn't you? And I'm like, yeah, I've been thinking about this for a long time and I've been waiting for you. And now here we go. So, you know, maybe one of these days I'll catch up to you.
That's so awesome. No, they're addictive. And I mean, I will say the older I get, the less I like being tattooed.
Yeah.
But the end product, like when you see it healed and it doesn't itch anymore, you know, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And that's why they are so addictive, is because you're like, okay, it's a couple of hours maybe of pain.
Right.
And then a week of you know, itchy and flaky. And then you just have this gorgeous artwork left on you. So that's why they become highly addictive.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I'm excited.
I think it's great. I have a matching one with my daughter as well. Yeah. Oh, hold on. It's a little honey bear. This is what we call ourselves.
Yeah.
It's honey bear. So it's just, she has it here, and it actually on the inside, you can't see it. Mine says honey, and it's in her handwriting. And then on her arm, she has the same bear, but it says bear, and it's in my handwriting.
That's so sweet. I love
that.
So
yeah, we got that when she moved, when she turned 18 and moved away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I just love how special it is. And it's interesting. I was clearing off my desk and I came across my little Ink Goddess Creation tattoos. And I know somebody in one of the groups was like, hey, can I get this tattooed? And I think this is so cool because there can be so much magic in a tattoo. And I realized, like, sometimes it's just you'd want a freaking tattoo and whatever, but there's also that magic in there. Have you ever got a tattoo that you were like infusing magic into as you were receiving it, or?
Oh yeah, that's my whole. So this arm is my spiritual arm.
Oh, cool.
So I have my goddess with my triple moon. I have my little witch. I have my little meditation. And then my favorite one is actually one I don't see. So that's a snake and an apple.
I love that.
To not only represent Avalon, but also, I believe Eve was framed.
Yes.
So it's all, this one actually has some of the biggest significance to me, just because women's empowerment, but also the ancient Isle of Avalon with the little apple.
Yeah.
So that's my spiritual side. And then, you know, I just have like fun. I have my Dark Alice is over here. So
love it.
Dark Alice. And then I'm literally covered. I have, in fact, it's funny because like if we ever go on vacation, you know, and I'll be in a bathing suit or something, my kids are like, I totally forgot that you had that. Cause like I have them down my hips, my thighs. I have, again, just because I wanted it and I worked at a tattoo shop. I don't know if you remember Happy Bunny.
Oh yeah.
A little sarcastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I have him tattooed on the top of my, like right below my lower back, but it's him bending over with a kiss on his butt.
That's awesome.
Because you work at a tattoo shop and you get bored sometimes during the slow season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm covered in weird tattoos. Some of them I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have gotten that one, but it's on me now. And they all have, I mean, they at least are funny stories, if not meaningful stories. But the minute you tell someone you have Happy Bunny tattooed pretty much on your ass, it's like, yeah.
That just screams, I used to work in a tattoo shop and we got bored one day, doesn't it?
Yep, it does.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, we could talk forever and I will not put our audience through that. So before we sign off, here is Morgan's website, inkgoddesscreations.com. But where else can folks find you?
Pretty much anywhere on social media. If you do / you know, Ink Goddess Creations, that's me on Instagram. That's the Facebook page, and thought there was one more. Might be the TikTok. I'm also Ink Goddess Creations on there. Like Pinterest and Twitter are a little bit weird.
Mhm.
And so is YouTube, just because I don't know, they needed a certain number of characters or something. So usually that's like Ink Goddess Shop. But if you type in Ink Goddess Creations, or if you come to our website and click on About Me or About Us, because that's what it is, yeah, then
Yeah,
you'll get all of our links there.
it's true. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. And it was fun learning some stuff about your tats and your background and everything that even after all these years, I didn't realize or forgot about. I forgot about your big old snake. You know me and snakes.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was really fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. All right. Well, we'll
Mhm.
do it again sometime. You know we will.
Okay.
So thanks again.
Yeah, thanks.